Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital was a dog whistle to some evangelicals. President Trump's announcement on Wednesday, December 6 that the U.S. would recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel received widespread criticism. Observers quickly recognized the decision as related not so much to national security concerns as to domestic U.S. politics and promises candidate Trump made to his evangelical supporters, who welcomed the announcement. Of all the possible theological dog whistles to his evangelical base, this is the biggest. Trump is reminding them that he is carrying out God's will to these last days. It is true that evangelicals have often noted that their support for Trump is based in their conviction that God can use the unlikeliest of men to enact his will. But how did conservative American Christians become invested in such a fine point of Middle East policy as whether the U.S. Embassy is in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem? For many of President Trump's evangelical supporters, this is a key step in the progression of events leading to the second coming of Jesus. There's an interesting story as to how that came to be. Ushering in the kingdom of God, the nation of Israel and the role of the city of Jerusalem are central in the end times theology, a form of what is known as premillennialism, embraced by many American conservative Protestants. While this theology is often thought of as a literal reading of the Bible, it's actually a reasonably new interpretation that dates to the 19th century and relates to the work of Bible teacher John Nelson Darby. According to Darby, for this to happen, the Jewish people must have control of Jerusalem and build a third Jewish temple on the site where the first and second temples, destroyed centuries ago by the Babylonians and Romans, once were. In Darby's view, this was a necessary precursor to the rapture, when believers would be taken up by Christ to escape the worst of the 7-year period of suffering and turmoil on earth, the Great Tribulation. This is to be followed by the cosmic battle between good and evil called Armageddon, at which Satan will be defeated and Christ will establish his earthly kingdom. All of this became eminently more possible when the modern state of Israel was established in the 1940s. But to understand the power of this way of looking at the world, it is necessary to do more than point to theological tenets. It is their dissemination through culture that determines which thought systems take hold and which ones are lost to history. As author of Building God's Kingdom, I focus on various aspects of conservative American Protestantism in American culture and politics. In my research, I have seen how some thought systems get lost in history and others take hold. Here is what happened with the end-time narrative that made it a core undercurrent to how these Christians look at the world and history.